Welcome. All you need today really is a wall or the back of a couch would also work pretty well. And for pretty much everything, if it's just the back of a couch. But I recommend a wall if you've got one that's got enough space for you to do a couple things near. And actually today, let's start standing. That'll either be exciting or sad. I don't know. But we're doing it. And so once you get to standing, go ahead and kind of separate your feet to what feels like a comfortable, supportive distance. Lift your toes up and spread them wide, and then place them back down on the ground. And then from here, you can put a hand on your heart, a hand on your belly. You can bring your hands to your hips. Just something that kind of brings your attention, your focus to center. And your eyes could be open or closed. And in fact, let's do this. Start with eyes open and just kind of gaze off into the distance. And see if you can bring your attention first to your breath. And then let an exhale carry your attention all the way down to your feet on the ground. And just feel for the pressure of your feet into the ground, the pressure of the ground into your feet. Feel for any sway that you have in your body, knowing like a little swaying around is natural. It's your body figuring out where you are in space. And then very gently, with just the tiniest bit of effort, imagine that you're rooting from your pelvis, from your hips, down into the soles of your feet evenly, so that you get even a little more contact with the ground. And maybe a little bit of a lift from your torso up. And then try closing your eyes if you feel okay to close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, you can just notice like what feels different. Notice if you sway a little more, if you feel the pressure of your feet to the ground differently, if your breath feels different. Just notice your breath. And then keeping your eyes closed, if your hands are on your body, take them down. Just relax them by your sides. And once again, noticing how your body responds. And with your next inhale breath, sweep your arms overhead. Then as you exhale, bend your knees, fold forward, let your arms and your head relax down. And then inhale, come up to standing, sweep your arms high. So you can roll up or you can just lift back up with a long spine. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, roll up. One more like this. Exhale, fold down. Let your knees bend. Let the back of your neck release. Inhale, come up. And exhale, release your hands by your sides. If your eyes are closed, you can open them. You're also welcome to keep them closed. And then we're just going to start to turn from your hips. And as you turn from your hips, let your arms relax so much that they just swing. And so the more you turn your hips, you can turn them at different speeds, right? But if you turn your hips a little bit faster, your arms will swing a little more energetically, we'll say. So we're just going to get a little movement in our hips and spine, shoulders. And then let your hips come back to stillness and your arms will eventually follow. And then bring your hands to your shoulders the best you can. So you just get them as close as you can, bending your elbows. And then start to circle your elbows. And just make as big a circles as you can in one direction. We'll go in both directions. And see if you can include your shoulder blades. So as you take your arms back, squeeze your shoulder blades toward one another. And as you stretch your elbows forward, you can even think about pulling your shoulder blades apart. And then switch directions. And inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, release them down. And so now you can find your wall or the back of your couch. See if you can get some space in the forward back direction. And I don't care which side you do, but you can hold onto the wall. And I'll show you too, you can also do this without holding on. But if you hold the wall with one hand, start to swing the opposite leg forward and backward. And so kind of like with the helicopter arm move, you want your leg to mostly be relaxed. And so think about swinging from your hip and your pelvis. And you can swing large swings or you can swing small swings that are just a little more soft. And you can also let go of the wall and swing your arms along with, kind of like the opposite arm leg going forward move. And then I try to keep my knee and my toes pointed straight ahead for this one because they want to turn out, but I actually want to kind of move my hip in this straight forward and back direction. Breathe. And then release. Turn around, switch sides. Now swinging the other side. Again, small, gentle swings, or you can move your swings a little bigger. Again, trying to swing with your knee and your toes pointed straight forward so that we really get this action in the hip flexor, the front of the pelvis. And you could do it with or without holding. But do breathe. As the weather starts to get cooler, I like to do slightly more active things in the morning. Just a few things that kind of get my blood flowing. And you can relax that side. And now, if balance is a challenge, you may turn and face your support with both hands, but just give yourself some space from the wall. Or you can be without support, or I guess you could hold behind you if you really wanted, but this one's going to be a swing side to side. And then I do my arms because it counterbalances me and I think it's fun. Might as well include my arms. Or just one arm if maybe you're holding on to something, right? And then switch sides. This could also turn into sort of a dance if you find you're falling over a little bit. It's okay to fall over. It's how your body learns how to, I don't want you to actually fall over, but it's okay to have to find your balance a little bit. That's how your body learns to not fall over. Okay, and then release that. And then from here, give each leg a couple of shakes. I like to relax my foot and then just shake, 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 shake. Okay. And then release that back down. And again, lift and spread your toes and then place them back down on the ground. And see if you can take a moment, pause. Feel the ground beneath you. And find your breath. And from here, I'm going to take your left hand and we're going to bring it behind you. So you don't want to bring it as high as you possibly can. You want to leave yourself a little space. So if I can bring my hand all the way up to my opposite shoulder blade, I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. If I can bring my hand to my low back, I'm going to bring it down more toward like my butt, my tailbone. If I can just barely get my hand to my butt cheek, I'm going to maybe bring it out to the side a little bit or a little lower. I just want to give myself a little space because as I bring the back of my hand to my low back, I then want to try and roll over my thumb and get the palm of my hand to my back. So I'm just going to basically be doing forearm flips, but with my hand behind me. So roll over your thumb and try to get as much of the palm of your hand to your back as you can, and then flip it back to start. So we'll do a few rounds like this. And if you can't get your whole palm to your back, that is very normal and fine. So don't worry, it's just moving in that direction. Notice what you feel in your arm, your shoulder, your wrist, elbow. And then release that side. Let your arm come down and you can gently shake it out. And then take that arm to your wall. Kind of press the wall away from you. And you can bring it to whatever height works for you, right, on the wall. But press your arm into the wall almost like you're trying to put some space between your shoulder and your torso. And that might be enough, or you might turn your chest away from the wall a little bit and get more stretch. And this stretch could be in your chest, in the front of your shoulder, in your arm, in your wrist, in your hand. You might feel it in lots of places. And then I like to turn my head away and look toward the opposite shoulder. Big breath in and out. And release back to center. And now second side, take your right hand behind you. Allow for the possibility that the location of your hand might be different on the second side. And then start to work that flipping slowly over the thumb side of your hand so that your palm is going toward your back, and then flip it back down. Nice and slowly, just keep going back and forth. Find your breath. If you find a arm position where you go, oh yeah, that's a really good feeling stretch, feel free to pause there. And take a long breath in And a slow breath out. Release your arm, do a little gentle shake, and then take that hand to the wall. And so the first stage is pressing. Press the wall away, make as much space as you can. You can even see I've got the heel of my hand lifted away from the wall personally. And then I might stay right there because that might give me enough feelings. Or I might start to turn my torso a little bit. And as I turn my torso, I don't want to let my shoulder come forward with me. The whole idea is that if I'm going to turn my torso, my shoulder is drawing back in the opposite direction. And I can stay right here, or I can turn my head toward my left shoulder. And breathe. Take a long breath in, slow breath out, and then release. Gently kind of shake that out. And then let's turn and face your wall or the back of the couch. And place your hands on the wall, and with your knees bent or your knees more towards straight, I like to start with them bent. Start to send my hips backwards and my chest down. So I am pushing the wall away from me so that I don't just sag down, because a lot of times that doesn't feel really good in shoulders. So I'm pushing the wall away like I'm trying to stretch by being active. And then your knees can be bent or they can be straight, but you want to really go for that length in your spine more than the straight legs. And bring yourself back up and step one foot forward. And you might even step the other foot back just a little bit. It just depends on how wide you want your stance. And then I'm reaching my back heel toward the ground. It's okay if your foot turns a little bit, or you could keep it straight. I'm going to bend into my front knee and pull my chest up as I push my back heel down. So I'm just getting a little stretch through my back heel, my back calf. And then straighten-ish your front knee. I say ish because it could be all the way straight or not. And I can stay right here, or I can start to, just like I did in the last pose, send my hips back and my chest down. Take a long breath in, slow breath out. And bring yourself back up, switch legs. And again, reach through your back heel. So either your leg could be straight, your foot could be straight, or you could turn it just a little bit. Bend into your front knee. Use the wall to help support you here, and lift your chest. I'm lifting my chest and pressing my back heel down. And then start to straighten your front knee. It can be slightly bent, it can be all the way straight, but whatever you choose, stay or start to lower your chest and send your hips back more. I say send your hips back more. They're probably not going to move a whole lot, but that's the direction so that you get a long spine rather than a rounded spine. And all that does is sends the stretch more into your hip and your leg. And release that. Come back up through center. Stand tall. Maybe come up onto your tiptoes and back down. Okay. From here, let's move to the floor. And I'm still going to use the wall here. You can do the next move. We're going to do like a little figure 4 stretch here. You can do it without the wall, but it feels, I think, really nice with the wall. So I'm going to kind of scooch up close-ish to the wall, probably not all the way, like give yourself a little room, and then swing my legs up so that my feet are up on the wall, like so. So if my legs are straight, my heels are on the wall. If I bend my knees, my feet go to the wall. Now stretch my arms side to side. And then I'm just going to gently start to turn both knees in one direction. I'm going to see how far I can reach them over. and then the other direction. So of course you could do this on the ground, right? Just rocking your knees side to side. But for me, it feels a little different on the wall, and I think it feels really interesting in my hips. If you get a little crankiness in your knee, you either stop before that happens, or you can try changing your foot position. You can try pulling your toes more toward your shins, or you could try pointing your toes and see if either of those helps the knee. And bring that back to center, and you could walk your legs up the wall so they're a little bit straighter in the knees. And then cross your right ankle over your left thigh. So you can, if what you can reach is your shin, you just cross over your shin. If you can reach above your knee, meaning like in the direction of your hip above your knee, then you can bend the wall side knee more to give you more stretch, because essentially that'll bring your legs closer to you. And you could just stay still right here, or you could gently rock your legs from side to side. If your ankle's crossed over your shin, you can still do some little side to side rocks here. Or you can just be still and enjoy your breath. And then release. Take your right foot to the wall and cross your left ankle over your right leg. And just once again, deciding if you're going to keep that right leg stretched up the wall, or if your ankle goes above your knee, you can bend that knee and put your foot on the wall to bring your leg in closer. You can be still, you can rock your legs, or some combination of those two things. Notice what your mind is doing, and see if you can bring your attention to your breath, to the sensations in your body, whether you really enjoy them or you're just waiting until they're over. And notice. And release. And then from here, you are welcome to pause right here. I'm going to say one more. We'll do a little frog pose on the wall where you keep your knees bent, but start to walk your feet wide and turn your toes out so that we start to stretch into your inner thighs, get your hips moving wider into this range of motion that they don't always get to move into. Breathe there. And so if you're lying on the flat on the ground, this pose is very much like a pose called Happy Baby, where you bring your knees wide and your feet up. And you can hold your feet or you can hold behind your thighs, but it's similar to this pose, right? It's just supported by the wall. So if you're not using the wall, you could be doing Happy Baby. And if you're really enjoying that pose, feel free to stay or walk your feet back toward one another. And then here you can stretch your legs up the wall. And some people prefer to put their soles of their feet together and knees apart and kind of slide down the wall. So if that feels really good to you. I mean, however you want your legs to be. I'm just going to put my legs straight up the wall here. And I'm going to bring, your arms could be wide, or you could just bring your hands in somewhere on your torso. We're just going to rest here. If you don't find this comforting, you can come off the wall and lie flat. You can come to sitting. Wherever you go, find a position and take a long, slow breath low into your lungs. And as you exhale, release into whatever's supporting you. Just feel yourself let go. Letting yourself be supported by whatever is underneath you. Whether that's the wall, the ground, some combination thereof. And you might notice as you rest that with every breath, you could repeat that. Maybe you notice an area of your body that has a hard time letting go and being supported. Maybe you notice that your mind has a hard time letting go and being supported. If you have some more time and want to rest for longer, you are welcome to. And if it's time to move on, slowly lengthen your breath. And if you're lying down, take your time to make your way over to one side first, and then up to sitting. It was so good to be with you. Take good care. Thank you.